listen, we had Jim Kelly. We had Bernie Kosar. Okay, there you go, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. Listen to this. We had Bernie Kosar, Jim Kelly. We've had a boatload of people. But do you know the number one thing that people kept saying to me? Where is the Battle Royale? I'm not kidding you. I get more requests for this thing than any guest, The Rock, anybody. And I've got to tell you, I'm not shitting, man. I see Mark behind there in the green room shaking. It's true. Joy Taylor is the only one because she's a skirt. Can you imagine that? They like to see Philly.500 and Mark Holmes. Now, I got to do this here. Philly.500 is playing hurt. I believe he's a COVID right now. And he said, I go, hey, dude. He goes, how do you think I could miss beating Mark Holmes up for fucking a half hour? Are you fucking crazy? Nothing could hold me down. And Mark Holmes, I'll tell you, there's a lot of optimism going on in Dallas right now. Gary Cobb was out there, and he said the Cowboys didn't look that bad. All right, without further ado, the much anticipated, and we have it here on a Friday for you, on a Football Friday, the legendary Mark Holmes, the number one creator for Dallas Cowboys, and the legendary man himself, that is Philly.500. He is playing hurt with COVID, and here he is. Folks,
what's happening, man?
Guys, how you doing?
Wonderful. Wonderful. We're doing good.
Mark, what's the matter, man?
What, are ratings down or something? You need, a dog to kick around and something here. Need some fresh meat for the troops. I mean, why am I here?
Wait a minute. Philly, I got to tell you what this guy said to me. He goes, listen, I thought you didn't love me anymore. And
I know.
I went like
2 weeks in a row. I was like, hey, it's safe.
He complains either way, just like a Cowboy fan.
I
am a Cowboy fan.
I went like this. I said, hang on here for a minute. I go, what do you mean, man? People are getting ramped up. We got a lot of people. By the way, people were bitching that we didn't do it. So I said, I'm not kidding. I had Jim Kelly and some of the greatest players in the history of the National Football League on. They want to see you guys. So I'm going to start with you, Mark, and then I'm going to get to the legendary man himself playing. Hey, wait, first and foremost, Mark, what do you make of Philly.500 playing hurt here with COVID coming aboard here, man?
It's not like I don't come in here with hurt feelings every week. So how's that any different? I mean, seriously.
I'll play that game. I'll play that game.
I'll be honest with you.
I'll play that game.
500. He's a stand-up guy. Seriously. And I know a lot more about Philly.500 than a lot of people do, man. He goes through a whole lot of shit and things, and will show up. And I'm going to say that today is actually my dad's birthday, who just passed. He would have been 86.
Happy birthday, Dad.
I'm here
Happy
too.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, he's a stand-up guy. And of course, it's easy pickings to kick my teeth in right now as a Cowboy fan. So why wouldn't he show up? It's not it's going to be hard.
See, you're not playing this right, Mark. I'm going to help you out as one of the greatest broadcasters in the history of broadcasting. And I'm going to give you some insight to help you out. Okay. You need to tell everybody how great they are. You need to tell everybody how fucking wonderful their team is. And when you win on September 4th, that's when you jump off the top rope like the legendary Hulk Hogan used to, and you come down on top of Philly.500's head because you believe that you win. Because I'm going to tell you something. Before I get to Philly here, it's August 15th. I got a new name for the Eagle defense. You know what it is? You know, you had the no-name defense back in the day. You know what you have now? The unknown defense. On August 15th, they don't have a corner. They don't have a safety. They're going to go by committee on edge. They have to play a left guard that his name is Brett Mantooth. It looks like Tyler Steen has won that job at right guard. They've got a shitload of question marks. And you know how Trotter's winning that linebacker job? He's winning it because he's been the most consistent, not explosive.
That's a good thing. So that he's been consistent, is it not?
It is. So how are you feeling about those things I just said about your September 4th matchup? I'm talking to you, Mark.
Oh, you're talking about me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, well,
You're
considering
the underdog.
I thought you were talking about, of course, the Philly.500 about how great he feels.
Oh, I'm going to get to him.
I'm going to say that, right now we got so many holes, it's not even fun. Our cornerback situation is Diggs won't be ready. I can pretty much guarantee you that one. In which case, we don't know who is going to be playing in the slot. Our offensive line, we're relying on a tackle to come back who left us wanting last year in Tyler Guyton, or Big Nate, an undrafted rookie free agent to start out at the season. If I go through and I look at ESPN position groups, the two position groups that they have us in the top 15 would be quarterback at 11 and wide receivers at 9. Everything else is like 17 or worse. That averages out to like the 17th best team in the NFL.
All right.
And my best player is unsigned because my owner enjoys stirring shit up 365 days a year. So feeling good about this? I'm not sure that I do.
How about you, Philly? I mean,
You got Mark thinking about the game. He hasn't thought about the game in 2 weeks. He's been only thinking about Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons.
That is the game, bro. That is the game.
Are you under the impression that Parsons is not going to walk out of one of those tunnels in Lincoln Financial on September 4th? You know he's rolling into that.
Let me ask you something.
Not missing that game, Philly.
By what point, though, him not practicing, is he going to force himself on a limited snap count?
Thank you.
He's not going to be ready.
Yep.
At what point do we get? I mean, we're getting close. So,
yes,
another week or two, we'll see.
And that's exactly what CeeDee Lamb said, that coming through with the holdout, that it basically, it stunted the season.
It does. It limits you health-wise, because what Philly just said, you're not going to be able to play 70 snaps. Philly's right. You're talking about a 35 snap count, and that's not going to be good enough in that Eagle game on that Thursday night to go out there with 35 snaps again. Now, look, they're going to be limited at guard, but hey, Philly, what did you make of all that? All those question marks, man. I mean, it's August 15th, and you said you don't know who's going to play safety or corner.
Well, I think that when it comes to the second corner spot and a safety spot, I think that's a very fair criticism, because I think you do got major question marks right now. I mean, look, Makuba went and missed last game, right? And what did we see? Sidney Brown go out and get hurt. And then what were we left with? Nothing, right? All the second corners, nobody's taking that job. So to me, those are the two areas that scare me. They still scare me more than the line. I think you could use depth, maybe another edge rusher, but I feel like that interior, that defensive line is going to be so good that I feel like they'll figure that out. But there are two legitimate questions right now at corner and safety.
How about this, Philly? So they've moved Jalix Hunt behind Nolan Smith now, and they've moved him off the front line and first team, and he's getting second team reps now. I mean,
do you think that's
you think that's a traveling thing? Some people think that's a traveling thing.
That's what I thought. It's hard to know, because sometimes with Fangio, we saw this last year with Nakobe Dean. He didn't start one practice. He looked horrible. People were writing him off. And then you get to the week one and boom. So to me, does Fangio go, well, I know what he can do on the other side, but let's get him snaps over here so that we can help that rotation? I don't know.
Is Parsons going to be signed, in your opinion, by the game, in your opinion, Mark? Do you think he gets there?
Will he be signed or will he play? Because I think that's two different things.
Well, I don't really care about him signing if he doesn't play. Will he play on the 4th?
You're actually talking about he without getting a new contract, he's still $24 million a year. So we're talking about $1.5 million per game that I don't think he's going to not show up for, which would be more money than he's made for any game at before. And we all know Jerry Jones' playbook. This is what he always does. Last year, he said with CeeDee Lamb, I'm in no hurry to go up and get a deal done. And it was, I believe, the 21st of August when CeeDee got signed last year. So this is the third year in a row we've been doing this. We did this with Zach Martin. We did it with CeeDee, and now we're doing it with Micah. It makes no sense whatsoever, and it does nothing as far as making a team better. In fact, I think it makes the team worse.
What's your takeaway that Fox Sports came out and named the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL, and one was Jamar Chase, the other one was Justin Jefferson, the other one was Ahmad St. Brown, the other one was Malik Neighbors, and the other one was CeeDee Lamb. There was no A.J. Brown on that list. My contention would be, how could you put, a wide receiver on that list when you're the 4th worst passing offense? So, I mean, I get it. Now, my question to you would be, okay, are you good with CeeDee being the 3rd best receiver in the game, or do you think he's the best receiver in the game?
He'll be the best one in the Eagles-Cowboys game. I can say that much. But here's the thing. If you want publicity, all you have to do is diss the Dallas Cowboy player. If you want publicity, say the Cowboys are going to be the worst, or the coach is going to be one and done, or that they're overrated, or that they're a Super Bowl contender. The bottom line is the Cowboys get used. And I'll be real with you. Denzel used the Cowboys in the same breath to promote his movie by going through and saying, I've been a Cowboy fan, for 60 years, and Jerry Jones, you ain't been to the big show. He brought more attention and used some of that Dallas Cowboys bullshit to pump himself up. So the reality is all of these ratings and things don't mean shit. What do you actually do on the field is what counts. And we'll start finding it out in the next 3 weeks.
What do you make of that, Philly? I mean,
look, if you're a Cowboy, you're a Cowboy player, you get a 15 to 20% bump just for wearing that helmet. You get credit for things you haven't done and who you are, what you are. So CeeDee Lamb, he's a very good receiver. I wouldn't put him as the best receiver in the division. The best, he's not better than A.J. Brown. Okay, A.J. Brown getting ripped off. Well, that's just another case of, the Eagles have a super team. They have a super team, but we don't rank any of their players. None of them are ranked anywhere. I think the rankings are all full of shit. I think all of that stuff. I'm so tired of it. I don't care. Just keep winning. But A.J. Brown's the best receiver in that division. He's a top 5 receiver. Now, I don't know how anybody can say he's not.
Here's Mark for me, why I think it matters who the quarterback is. If you're Dak Prescott, you want a guy like CeeDee, you want a guy like Jamar Chase. If you're a guy like Josh Allen, you're a guy like Jalen, you're a guy like Lamar Jackson, you want somebody who's going to block in the run game and get you 1,500 yards. CeeDee Lamb's not going to go out there and put a hat on somebody in the middle of the field. That's not who he is in the run game. There's no coincidence that A.J. Brown blocked for Derrick Henry and now is blocked for Saquon Barkley. And so to me, when you get a dual threat guy like that, I got to tell you, I'm more on the A.J. Brown factor. I think that guy is probably – would this not be fair, Philly, that he's probably the most complete wide receiver in the game when it comes to catching and giving you 1,500 and knocking dudes out in the secondary?
I would think so. I don't know why they don't put him in the slot enough. I don't think they do, because I think, you ever see anybody stop him when he runs a slant?
No,
ever. It's impossible. So, I mean, I agree. I think he's Mark, a great receiver.
Do they ever put CeeDee out wide and put him at the Y and Z ever? Do they ever line him up?
They move him around. They move him around.
They line him mostly up in the slot.
He gets more work in the slot, and that's where having George Pickens is actually going to be able to really benefit this offense. He's better in the slot than he is outside, but he can play either position. And
sorry.
No,
this is where I'm Mark. I'm going to tell you something here. You tell me if I see this number. If they start that Keely Ringo out there at corner, I think Dak's going for 300 and north of 300 yards, and I'm going to tell you why. Because here, I have record that shows this ain't a playoff game. So you can take the playoff conference.
It's not a playoff game.
It's not.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. This is not a playoff game. This is a regular season game. True. That guy's thrown for 458 yards against that football team in the past. Well, that guy's thrown for an average of 310 yards in every start that he's played as a start.
So who's their third receiver?
They got two.
Jalen Tolbert,
who's your second?
Turpin.
Wait, who's your second corner, Philly?
Well, whoever the second corner is going to be on Tolbert, right? Because you figure CeeDee Lamb's in the slot. I got Cooper DeJean on him. If if Pickens is outside, I'm going to put Q on him. So that would leave my worst corner with their worst receiver.
I'll bet
take that
you they
matchup.
line up CD out wide.
If they're smart,
You'll probably have him outside.
But I'll tell you what,
Hey,
I'll take that too, because
this.
then you're taking him out of his best position.
Okay, I got to tell you, I think the Cowboys are going to, and this is what Gary Cobb was out there at camp. He saw CD Lamb out wide, and I think CD Lamb and Pickens. The Eagles don't have a second cornerback. The guy that they had that was earmarked, Keely Ringo. Hey, get this. You ready for this one, Mark? He was first team 2 weeks ago, and in a matter of 2 weeks, he's not taking one rep with the first team, the second team. Now he's on the third team. They don't have a second corner.
Good.
I mean, and in the first 4 games, you've got Dak, you've got Mahomes, you've got Stafford, and you've got Mayfield. What do they all have in common? Dak has great regular season games, and this is the opener. Mahomes has won Super Bowls, and you have Stafford, who's won a Super Bowl, and you have Mayfield, who's owned the Eagles the last 3 games. So, I mean, if they don't figure that out.
The problem with this is that the Eagles will figure out how to give that other corner help, because Dallas is one-dimensional. If you know a team's going to pass, and can't run the ball, I think that it's going to hurt you.
This is true. Okay, I will say this is true. But here's the problem that you have that you haven't really had with the Cowboys before, is you actually have speed. If they end up using Kayvon Turpin, he has a lot of speed that you can use in the slot. And having George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, you basically have 2 number 1 guys. You have to – either one of those 2 guys can kill you. Now, I think that the Cowboys, the advantage that they actually have right here, and I'm going to say, I think Brian Schottenheimer is playing this wise, is they are not showing anything. It is a big mystery as to what they're going to come out. And the Cowboys' strength, of course, is going to be passing the football. Our running game, I don't know what's going to become of it. We all get excited about what happens in training camp, but that's not real football until you actually get on the field. Cowboys are going to have to throw the football, and it's going to be Dak's arm, and that's going against the weakness of your defense.
Well, and it's a weakness. You guys act like that we have no good secondary guys. Come on, it's kind of ridiculous. Look, I have to agree with Mark on one thing about Dak. He's really not that great of a quarterback. I agree with Mark on that, okay? Because Mark is correct. He's not good enough to take a team that Jerry Jones put 12 wins 3 straight years. He put a team that could win 3 straight 12-win seasons, and he couldn't take them any further than that. So I think he's really not that great of a quarterback, because a good quarterback would take him deep into the playoffs. And I think we have to think about Jerry Jones and the fact that maybe Jerry Jones is saying, why did I pay this quarterback gigantic money when he can't get the job done, when I give him the talent of a 12-win team 3 straight years? And so then you're telling me I got to be scared of him passing week 1? I don't think so.
Let me give you one little argument here, a little tad, okay? Over the course of the last 5 years, if we look at the quarterbacks that are in the NFC East, Dak Prescott has had to average 270 yards passing a game, okay? The next closest is Sam Howell at 228 yards. Carson Wentz had 218. Jalen Daniels, 209. The problem with the Cowboys is they have been one-dimensional. And the thing is, much like with Tony Romo, you either win with Dak or you lose with Dak. You're not a balanced team. And in the NFL, you must be balanced. I'm sorry. It's the truth. If you become one-dimensional, it becomes harder to perform.
Balanced a year ago. The Eagles weren't balanced a year ago.
But
2 years ago,
you had a running game that ended up okay. In comparison,
and you bring up
to
Wentz. I mean, Wentz went to that team won a Super Bowl, even though he got hurt
with 218 yards.
The league is built to throw. That's the problem. The league is built.
Go back to the Kango kid. Go back to the Kango kid before the show, before we got on. And go back to the quarterbacks that threw for the most yards. You had 53 TDs and 8,000 yards. And looking at Trevor Lawrence and all these guys. It's not yet. The league is made to throw the football. Yes, chicks
Right.
dig the deep ball. But if you're talking about winning, you've got to be balanced. You have got to have that defensive lineman not know, is it going to be a run or a pass?
Right.
You've
right.
got to be able to
And
put a doubt in somebody's mind.
Because your quarterback isn't good enough to get the job done with a team that wins 12 straight. 12 straight wins, 3 straight years.
That team overperformed with the talent that Jerry Jones put together.
You take when you have the running back, right? Who's the running back they let go to Tennessee? Right? They had no problem. He's the greatest running back of all time.
Pollard?
Now
Tony Pollard, who had 1 year
you
of having 1,000 yards.
Pollard was a great.
Tony Pollard, oh my God. Tony Pollard wasn't as good as Miles Sanders, bro.
Mark, listen here. Philly, I'm going to say this to you.
Super Bowl with Miles Sanders.
Hey, let me say this to you, though. If Dak Prescott takes that team to a divisional round game, that fucking roster to a divisional round game, that'll be remarkable because I don't think that's a very good roster.
But I agree with you this year, this current iteration of who Dallas is. I don't think they're as good as previous years. But you can't tell me they weren't good in the past.
They were
good enough to win.
Mark, they were. Mark.
They had good pieces. But again, the biggest problem is you're top heavy. Once you get through that first layer, you're going to journeymen and no names. When we had to rely on Jason Peters, who couldn't play more than 25 plays in a game.
Listen, we lost Jason.
Come on, man.
Hey,
come on.
Jason Peters.
He had still some gas. He had still some gas in the tank.
We lost Peters and won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback.
Hey, let me ask you that since we're going there. You may lose Landon Dickerson for the opener against the Cowboys.
I think that's a safe bet. Like I would sit him out. We had
Dr. Chow on. We had Dr. Chow on with us, and he thinks that he's probably going to miss the opening week of the season.
Although he was walking around pretty good yesterday
with the beer bags. I dug that.
That guy's awesome.
With the beer bags, had the Miller Lights for both the Browns, and but okay, what do you make of that? How big of a factor is that? Because you got a brand new starting right guard, and you have a brand new starting left guard against the Cowboys. Think of this, and you got a guy with a back injury, or it's coming off of a back injury, and Cam Jurgens. Are you concerned about the interior of the O-line?
No, not against Dallas. Dallas, and Mark will tell you, that defensive line is suspect, especially the interior against the run. I think Steen's had a pretty good camp. He started slow. He's come along. He's had enough snaps before. Left guard, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It's not Landon Dickerson, so it definitely hurts. But I think playing Dallas, and with Mozzie Smith out there and stuff, no, I think we'll be all right.
How about this? I got a question to ask you, Philly. Name me a position: safety, corner, edge, right guard, left guard. If Landon can't go, linebacker. You tell me in 7 positions that you'll have out of the 22 where Howie Roseman had an upgrade. Trotter's going to play for Dean. You're going to have maybe a committee playing for Sweat. You're going to have Sidney Brown, who can't tackle, playing for Gardner Johnson. You got Keely Ringo. Looks like the guy you can't replace right now. He's going to be Darius Slay. You're going to have Keely Ringo there. You've got Tyler Steen going in for Becton. You've got a guy going in for Landon Dickerson on the other side. You got Moro Ajomo, who I feel probably the most comfortable about, for Milton Williams. 7 positions.
Yeah.
Howie Roseman, where did he upgrade the offseason here on those replacements?
I don't know. I don't know that they've upgraded those replacements as of right now, as we sit here today, right? Will guys develop through the course of the year? That's a question we'll have to wait and see. But I do think he did upgrade some other positions. I think the running back position is way deeper than it was a year ago.
With A.J. Dillon.
I think the linebacking core is deeper than it was a year ago. I think the receivers are looking like we've got some really good young receivers. So I think that we're better in those areas, but I think it's fair to say, if you look at the corner, you look at the safety, right? I think those are positions where you can't say you upgraded. We don't even know, we don't know how far we've downgraded at this point. So, I mean, I think that's fair. The question is that going to hurt us enough that somebody's overtaken us?
That's
And
the
my
question.
and my argument is going to be, I don't think so, because I think with the Eagles, at the end of the day, it's who can stop that running game. And that's what I think the Eagles are going to dare people to do.
Let me ask you something, Mark. This year, does it define Dak?
You know, with everything that's gone on with Jerry Jones, basically just telling you flat out, I do this for kicks and giggles, okay? Doing everything that I do, I just like the drama. I don't think that it really does. I don't think that this year, when you look at it and say Schottenheimer is a rookie coach, that basically you're kind of starting over as far as the team goes. And your best player, you've literally had him sitting out, and you don't have a running game. I'm not sure how you can look on this. I know everybody will say by the time the season's over, it'll be Dak's a choker. But you've got to have the pieces to really go ahead and compete. And, you know, the team will probably still win 9 or 10 games and probably perform better than what they probably should with the talent that they have. Listen, our interior defensive line is not good. Our secondary, we're relying on 2 guys to come back from injury. Our running game stinks. And we still have question marks on the offensive line.
I'm going to say this to you, and you tell me if you agree. Dak Prescott is not better than Danny White. Danny White got the divisional and NFC championship.
Say 3 NFC championship games, actually.
I mean, you can make the argument that it goes Aikman, Staubach, White, and then Romo and Dak you could flip coins on, where you could probably go like this, that those 2 guys. But I mean, how about this?
But hold on, Sills. I will still say you had guys like Randy White, Ed Too Tall Jones, Tony Dorsett.
Now we're
Drew
talking
Pearson.
roster again. Okay.
Okay. Again, he had a whole lot more to work with on that roster than you look at with the Cowboys.
Is that how you look at Jalen Hurts? Is that Jalen Hurts has a really great roster and Jalen Hurts had a really
How
great –
can you not say he doesn't have a really great roster?
You can't.
Okay. Philly, you can shake your head all you want. Now, listen to me. Let me be clear here. Jalen Hurts is a really good quarterback. But there's a bunch of really good quarterbacks out there that don't have the opportunity that Jalen Hurts has. Now, you know, you've got a great GM, because if you really want to look at the difference between the Cowboys and the Eagles, Jerry Jones and, of course, your GM, it's night and day difference. We're sitting here trying to find reasons why not to sign Micah Parsons because he's worried that he might be paying somebody. Your guy says, okay, we fucked up on that contract. Let's move on and get somebody else to take care of this. That's the difference between these teams.
Well, I'll say this. I sent Mark 2 clips. I thought they were both very interesting. I don't know if he got them or watched them, but one of them was Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt Smith was talking about at some point, you can't blame Jerry Jones. He's not out there. He's not throwing the ball. He's not running the ball.
That's the guy who had the greatest offensive line that the Cowboys ever had.
Tom Brady saying, you know, basically talking about Joe Burrow, saying, great, you go out and you have big statistics throwing the ball. What are you doing to help the defense? What are you doing to help the team in the offseason? At some point, you have to take responsibility for what your team is. Now, you want to talk about Jalen Hurts and what he does. And, you know, Jalen Hurts, he went during their contract, you know, when he was getting an extension, he went and said, I don't want to screw the team with my contract. Let's set it up in a way, even if it's less money or however it's set up, so that you can go get players. Dak is getting $50 million, $60 million, a cap hit.
Wait, let me say what he just said. Don't you think that contract – how many years in a row did you guys go 12 wins? Was it 3?
3 years.
3 years in a row. Prior to this season, it was 3 years in a row. Well, don't you think there's a coincidence Dak taking that $60 million that the team's gone sideways after that? I mean, don't you think he's hurt the team with that contract?
Say the team went sideways because take a look at what the team did before then. It was like every other year we were good, made the playoffs and so on. I mean, the best period of his time of being here was actually since he started getting paid. Now, I hear what you're saying about, you know, Dak had taken less money. I would follow that argument if you had said 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019, that when they were only paying him $680,000, that they were going out there and actually spending money, but they didn't. It's not the Cowboys' MO.
Let me say this to you, though. Brady never, ever made the most money at any time when he was in New England. He didn't make his money, right, Philly, until he got to Tampa Bay when he started making $45 million. He wanted to always reinvest in the roster, knowing full well if he reinvested in the roster by taking $10 million less, that he was going to make his roster more. So really, I think you got to put a little of this on Dak on looking and his agent going, okay, well, wait a minute. It's great for me to be paid. And by the way, people chasing bags of money, I'm not against that, Mark. I mean, I get it. But when you're chasing greatness, you've got to win with the team. And if Hurts is being able to go, you know what? Look at Jalen Hurts and Mahomes right now. Do you think there's any coincidence that those guys aren't top 10 paid guys? They're not they're not in the top 10. Mahomes is actually 12th on the list of highest paid quarterbacks. Hurts is now like 7th on that list when it comes to highest paid. Don't you think there's a coincidence to that?
But don't you think let me counter that with this. Because Jerry Jones waited on Dak and CDs, and right now Micah's, it's estimated that it's cost him $85 million. Okay? For no good reason. Because please tell me what waiting has done for you.
I'm going to tell you what it's done.
Yeah, but Dak still wanted top dollar and was more worried about getting the most instead of helping that team.
I'm going to tell you what he's doing here. If you look at all the salaries and you look at Dak Prescott's signing bonus and you look at CD's signing bonus and you look at anyone's signing bonuses, they're lesser than any of the big quarterbacks that have signed with the guaranteed money. Jerry Jones gets these guys on less guaranteed cash. Look at CD. CD's got a good deal. But, dude, look at Jefferson's deal with the guaranteed money compared to Lamb's money. Where Jerry thinks he's saving money is look at the less on the guaranteed cash he's giving. Dak Prescott got, what was it, $79 million when it came to that to the guaranteed money, right?
The first time, yes.
Okay. Do you know what the guy in Buffalo just got? The guy in Buffalo got $100-something million on a guarantee. I mean, Jerry looks at it. I think he looks at it backwards. You see, Howie wants to give the money up front, and that lessens the cap. Jerry doesn't want to pay the money up front, and I think that hurts the back of your roster, Mark, and that's why you guys are in the position you're in.
But on the flip side, if you went ahead and get Micah Parsons deal done, you don't have that hard $24 million. You basically will save yourself about $12 million, and you're sitting here with $32 million on the cap. So if you really wanted to sign somebody, you could. But the Cowboys, they just won't.
One last question for each of you here. For you, how are you feeling about Dak's preseason so far in his training camp? How do you think he looks going into this game September 4th?
What's amazing to me is he's had 2 interceptions in practice wearing pads. And he had 1 interception that happened 2 days or 3 days ago. And it's like breaking news. Dak Prescott with a pick 6. Dak Prescott has actually looked really, really good, especially with the deep ball with Pickens there. I think that you're going to see him well over 4,000 yards and well into the 30s with TD passes.
You think he leads the league in passing again?
I think it's possible. I think the Cowboys are going to have to rely on that to set up the run.
Philly, Hurts, his preseason and his training camp, you hear people saying that, the offense, they got handled by the Browns the other day.
That's what I heard, yeah.
In the joint practice. How do you think his preseason has gone?
Oh, it depends. Are we talking about Elliott Shore Parks? I read that every day because it's just funny to me. I truly believe Jalen Hurts is a gamer. When the game comes on and the lights come on, he steps up. So I think he'll be fine in that regard. I mean, I'm not worried about the offense skills. I'm worried about that secondary and safety spot. That second corner. But I gotta ask Mark one question because I just want to know this. This is not bad. I'm not going to give you a hard time today. You know, I can't talk too long. But what's your take on this offer that Green Bay Packers apparently made Micah Parsons for Micah Parsons? The Green Bay Packers trying to trade and get him?
The reality is I'm sure that there's 31 teams that would like to make an offer and trade for him. Jerry Jones is doing this for his ego, his damn Netflix special and everything else. Jerry Jones gets off the fact that his team is worth $2.5 billion more than everybody else, and that everybody is following on every single move that he makes. He's not trading Micah Parsons. And if you want to know the reality about Dak Prescott and waiting to get those deals done, it's more publicity. And it's food for father. I'm sure I say that correctly. That you can say, well, he's the highest paid, and we're only going to go as far as he is. It's the tagline for everybody in every show. He's the highest paid out there. If you notice how everybody is staying below Dak Prescott, because that is the drama that is the Cowboys.
If I were the Cowboys, I would trade Micah for Jordan Love and send Dak to Minnesota.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
Okay.
I think if you could get a lot for him, I mean, you got to think Kershaw Walker.
You got to rebuild the team, dude.
Yeah. I mean, jeez.
Bro, hanging
if the Cowboys, no, I'm going to tell you, if the Cowboys are now a younger team right now, they actually have some decent players. The biggest problem with them is having depth and stopping the run. If you were to go out there and sign a great lights out defensive tackle, get yourself another cornerback and a legitimate running back, this will be a very formidable team. It's only 3 players. Only 3 players. Why don't you
trade Micah Parsons to Philly for Carter?
No thanks. No thanks.
Why not? I mean, if 31 teams,
I don't want Parsons.
Micah Parsons to Philly for Jalen Carter. Would you do it, Mark?
No.
You wouldn't do it, Mark.
No.
Would you?
I don't want that Philly stank.
If I was a Cowboy,
I don't want nothing from Philly. Okay.
If I was a Cowboy, I would do it in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me?
Would you trade CD for AJ?
No.
There's nobody I would trade. I want from the Cowboys. Those guys have a losing in their mind. They're losers. Listen, this is a team that can't even practice. They have to go to training camp in California for vacation. They got to go to a nice cool area. Everybody's in the heat, in the humidity, and they're in California. I think the Eagles next year, I think we should have training camp in Dallas. Just to let them know the real American team's here while Dallas is in California.
Oh my God.
They're soft, Sills.
Mark,
they're soft.
What kind of videos?
I'm going to say is you better not lose in 20 days, bro.
Don't worry. It ain't going to happen.
Because I've already got Leo Bridgewater already told him, if you guys lose, I'm driving to his house as soon as the game is over.
Let me tell you, I watched that team last week. They stink.
Hey,
they stink.
Mark, I got to tell you, man, I'm looking forward to this September 4th game because I think it's going to be more interesting than I thought it was because of some of the question marks on that defense. But we'll see. The Eagles still have that offense and that offensive line. So, hey, what do you got coming up here, man? What's the new video going to be? I'd like to know. What's the video here?
You've actually given me a little bit more hope here today than I had, of course. Kind of talking about the Eagles defense and the holes that they have in there.
So that's what his next video is going to be. We got all these holes. Then he's going to get in the game and he's going to go, oh, shit. Oh, shit. They're good. They're
Philly,
good.
I got to tell you, bro, I love you, man, for doing this, man.
I'm taking it easy today after this. I'm not doing any videos. I'm getting ready for tomorrow's game. Right? You got to stream that game. So
you're streaming the whole game? How about you, Mark?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Definitely streaming the game.
Yeah,
guys, I can't tell you how I appreciate you guys and respect you guys so much for coming on the program.
I went easy on Mark today. I went.
You hear that, Mark?
I thought you were pretty easy on me.
I was.
This wasn't like Game Time Brian's show the other night. Jeez,
no.
Flip, man.
No.
Wow.
I can't keep up with my voice is going.
Guys, have a great weekend. Football all weekend long, man. Like you guys, love you guys, man. I appreciate it. Make sure you check out all of their fabulous channels, man. These two guys kicked the serious ass out of everybody. Number one content creator for the Cowboys, and there he is right there. Your top guy and our guy right there, the champ, Philly.500. Get better, Philly. Get better,
right,
bro.
Feel better,
I
son.
will.
You
Thanks,
got it. Guys, thank you so
All right.
much. Have a great weekend, man. Love these guys. Great stuff, man. Absolutely love it, man. And get this, he came in hurt, man. And these two guys are going to be working it tomorrow. And so is Mark going to be working it. We appreciate that. Hey, listen, man. I think Dak and the Cowboys, I don't know if they're going to be in that game, but I do know this, man. There are a lot of question marks on that. I'm calling them the unknown defense. That's the Philadelphia unknown defense. Let me pay some bills here. The number one injury law firm in all of America is who? It is Morgan & Morgan. And let me add to this. Not only are they the number one injury law firm in America, but they also are in the world. And the reason is because they win. Simple as that, folks. From coast to coast and from around the world, Morgan & Morgan is the number one injury law firm when it comes to protecting families. For more info, please do me a favor. If you're ever injured, go to forthepeople.com/big cells or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big cells or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Cells sent you.